we've got a very interesting situation developing inside of Venezuela. It's very clear right now that the United States is carrying out an entire crusade against Venezuela. It has been trying to overthrow the country for about 20 years, and it's reaching a new, more aggressive stage. Venezuela has made it clear we do not want aid from the United States. They accept it from China, they accept it from the UN, they accept it from Russia. They do not want it coming from the United States because of the whole Trojan horse aspect to it. So they said, no, we don't want it, don't come here, we don't want you. So the US sends all of it to Colombia. And Venezuela says, don't do it, we don't want you here. Then they take those supplies, put them on the border with Venezuela. We don't want it, don't come here. Then they build up a convoy to send those supplies into Venezuela after being repeatedly told they don't want them here. Now, what the mainstream media is not telling you is that they went to a whole bunch of far-rightists asking them to help bring these supplies in illegally. Now, of course, the police in Venezuela came up to stop these people, to blockade the roads. I'm not referring to the one with the highway with the tanker trucks. That's a whole separate thing. That was something that had been set up for years that had nothing to do with it. But the police are coming in to blockade it now, to stop it, and a lot of volunteers, possibly militiamen, I don't know, but very possibly are Chavista militiamen telling them, no, do not come into the country. Now what happens is the people come in, the right-wingers come in, start throwing rocks and bottles, possibly even Molotovs, at the militia and police forces. Then they all stop, put them down. Then the police and militias come in to force them out of the country. But the media only captures the part where the militia and the police are forcing them out. They just forget to post all the pictures of the rightists from Colombia, and some from Venezuela as well, attacking the people, telling them, no, don't come into the country. And that's exactly what's being done. And as a result of this, it's going to be used as an excuse to attack the Bolivarian government even further. And that's the situation that we're looking at right now. This is what's going on. This is not even all that different than what was done to Black Lives Matter. Police would go in, intentionally instigate the protesters into violence, but then only show the violence being carried out by the protesters in retaliation. It's the same tactic, and it works beautifully because people will fall for it. The United States has no business sending any aid to Venezuela whatsoever, having been told they don't want it. Do not come here. We do not want your aid. We do not want your false charity. And yet they continue to force it in regardless. And then when it's met with violence, they cry victim. That's the narrative that's being put here. And this is something that we have to oppose. This is something that's going to keep going on to justify it. Now, the average Marxist, if they're not a horribly inhuman piece of garbage, they're going to support the Bolivarian government despite its flaws, despite the fact that it's not actually socialist, despite the fact that it's not Marxist. But they still have a right to exist. They still have a right to be free from U.S. imperialism. That's something they should be supporting. Yet the majority of Americans do support war on Venezuela because that's just the way the American people are. Because of some perceived self-superiority. We need to be able to tell others what to do because American exceptionalism. And that's the way it is. So it needs to be repeated. It needs to remind people that this is what's going on. This is what's going on inside this what's going on in the situation. This is the misinformation that's being put out. And then we, not even just us, anybody who just opposes war in general should be acknowledging this as a lie. Not running around like Bernie Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard claiming to be against the wars, but always supporting the justification for them. We don't want war, but you know, all the reasons for putting it are absolutely correct. Which, in effect, is actually just supporting the war. It's called being a political opportunist. Having your cake and eating it too. And it makes you a phony for doing so. So this is a narrative that we need to push around to the public, that this is a lie being used to justify suppression and invasion of Venezuela.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.